the two Charlo fights. You know, I know you guys touched on them really great in depth on the podcast today, but
that was big for them. You know, in retrospect, it was big for them to have their first pay-per-view and to do it together. One thing I talked to these guys about actually on the show, I think it was episode 1. Might have been no, it was definitely episode 1. I talked about how hard it must be to follow that act of your brother getting in the ring. Whoever's watching their brother go first, there's so many different emotions and energies that they're going through, hoping he wins, and you know, every time he gets hit and every time he doesn't make the move that you've seen him work on time and time in the gym, and you know, so on and so forth. You know, so I know personally how much everyone goes through. You know, so I know it's always tough for them, and I've asked myself before, like, why did they even go back to back? But it's the way that they want things to be at this point, and you know, I'm proud of them for getting through that first pay-per-view the way that they did. Jermall closed the show.
Is Jermall the best 160 right now, you think? Would he beat Andrade in your... Well, you know, actually that fight in particular, because you fought and beat Andrade.
Yeah, I want to see.
Right.
I want to see Boo Boo Andrade fight Jermall Charlo at 160. I would love to see that fight. But at this point right now, the 160-pound Charlo is the best 160-pound fighter out there, and so is the 154.
How would that Boo Boo fight go? Would it be a big chess match? You know, not a lot. Yeah.
With the Charlo brothers, you have to make them think, and you have to make them move their feet. And from what I've seen, they have problems with guys that can move. They have problems with guys that are busy, and it just makes them it's almost like they're a step behind every time with the reactions when guys are busy and when guys are moving. And I think that Boo Boo is that fighter that can move, bring the fight to you. He's most rangy guy in boxing probably, and he's a southpaw at that. You know, so there will be a lot for the Charlo at 160 to prepare for and getting in the ring with Boo Boo Andrade. And I said that honestly, that's probably why he doesn't mention his name, because he knows that that's a tough fight for him, and a tough fight to get prepared for.
You don't think it's the business side? He's not keen on that
it's
style.
Definitely the business
right.
side. I mean, we all, I think...
Because they've had words backstage in Brooklyn in the past and everything.
Well, honestly, I think at this point, everybody knows who they can fight and who they can't fight, or...
Who's more difficult to fight.
Or who's more difficult to make a match with.
Yeah.
And I think because of those things, it's just like, okay, here's the guys I'm going to fight. This is the list. These are the guys I'm going to talk about. I'm not even going to talk about that fight. That fight will never happen, you know? So you just kind of, I think if anything, he's put Andrade in the rear view because Andrade is not as busy, because Andrade does not have the big belt, and because Andrade is not business friendly at this point.
Would you have a winner in that fight? Do you see either guy? Yeah.
Even from a bias standpoint, I'm going for Andrade. But even if I take that out of the picture, I'm still saying that Boo Boo Andrade is rangy. He can move. He's busy when he needs to be moved, and when he needs to be busy, and he's strong. I think he's one of the more intelligent boxers out there in any division, and I think that's a very tough fight for Jermall Charlo. I think Boo Boo would win that fight.
But do you think it's possible Boo Boo wouldn't put his foot on the pedal enough to win a fight like that? Because it seems like in the second half of fights he takes his foot off the gas.
You know what? I asked I was having that conversation with Wade the other day, and Wade kind of reassured me that Boo Boo has it. I said, you know, Boo, it's been a while since Boo Boo has been in a tough fight. A fight that's a big fight. I just don't know if he's got it anymore. Basically what I'm saying. And Wade was like, no, he got it. And getting that from Wade does not pull any punches. So I was actually expecting Wade to kind of piggyback off of what I said, but he went the opposite direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and stay there with Wade, man. I think that Boo Boo, I've known that for a while, but I just at this point now, with not seeing Boo Boo be as busy as we would love to see him be, especially being a champion and not get big fights. It's like, you know, how much oiled up are you? How much ready to go are you? But the Boo Boo that I know is always ready for the challenge.
What do you think, Carson, and that Charlo and Boo Boo Andrade?
I would pick Boo Boo. I think he's one of those that for years, whether it's business or whether it's just timing, he hasn't gotten those fights, kind of like what Shawn said, where I think he might be the most skilled guy at that division. I'm not sure that's even a stretch, but And Shawn mentioned the Charlo's kind of struggle with guys that can move, that are busy, that are, like you said, rangy. There's not a lot of guys that are that athletic at that weight, and I think Boo Boo is definitely one. So I think he could win. I wonder if he would be especially amped up and ready to go for that fight where he hasn't had those big fights. So if he gets that, you get the name on the dotted line, then you go into camp like, okay, my camp's usually a 9.5. Let me go to 11 this time and really make it happen.
I love that promotion too.
Yeah, I definitely the promotion. Man, I will live for that.
He's an underrated trash talker.
Yeah, that fight,
underrated trash talker.
That fight will sell. I promise you that. You will. That will sell. That'll be a good fight. 60-40, Boo Boo. I don't know. It can almost go 50-50 for me. Just and because Boo Boo has the skills, I just feel like Charlo's been in there with better competition. I think that may give him a little brings him to 50-50, but it's definitely a good fight. It's definitely going to be a good fight.
And we talked about it maybe last episode, maybe even the first one, where when you get elite guys, which Charlo and Boo Boo are both elite, it's going to be a competitive fight. It's not going to be just somebody gets bull rushed and it's a wrap after a round. So I think the Charlos have the X factor with the power. I think Boo Boo has maybe a lot of the other equation, but I'll be down. I think Boo Boo's he got to be top 10 trash talkers in boxing, right? Who's top 10
right now?
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah. Shout out to Boo Boo.
So
is he from Providence? Is he from Rhode Island?
Yeah, he's from Rhode Island.
I'm damned.
He's from where Me, Myself, and Irene was filmed. Yeah. So, but no, but well then just to keep to finish on Jermall, is it possible then that despite Canelo maybe being number one pound for pound that's a better style matchup for Jermall? He's got some height on him. Canelo's not a mover.
Canelo's a tough fight for anybody. That fight. Yeah, that's a tough fight for Jermall.
I wonder when people talk about Canelo, I think a lot of times when they call him out, they don't mean what they're saying. Where they want to call him out and act like it's kind of like Floyd, that we saw for years. I have the code to beat Floyd. I have the blueprint. I'm not sure if a lot of people actually think they can beat Canelo.
Triple G is not the same fighter. I think that Jermall would beat Triple G.
Right now,
there was a point in time where I didn't think that, but
I would agree.
I think Jermall Charlo beats Triple G now.
I think he might stop Triple G.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
the fight with Canelo.
Yeah, I think
he takes him. Triple G
we talked about that yesterday.
He got hurt his last fight though.
Yeah, he gonna take.
And Triple G was like, we talked about it. He was like a mythical figure for like a hot chunk of time right there, where he was knocking everybody out. Nobody wanted to fight him.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
But now I think Charlo stops him if they fought.
Yeah.
I'll be down for that fight though. Any of those guys. You throw a name of the dartboard. Canelo, Charlo, Boo Boo.
I'm
down.
Another thing I like about the fight with Boo Boo and Charlo. Charlo hasn't been in any wars, so he still has a very fresh body, very fresh mind.
Yeah.
And Boo Boo has been so out of the ring that he has a fresh body and a fresh mind. So you got two really good elite fighters that are fresh, no injuries, nothing like that at all. I think that's a great fight.
Boo Boo was giving out ass kickings to the elite and amateurs. Keith Thurman said it a while ago before he lost the Pacquiao. He said Boo Boo was the last guy to give me an ass kicking in the amateurs.
Boo Boo was good, man.
So, but not too big on the Canelo fight yet for Charlo.
No.
Okay.
And I don't see Canelo coming down to 160. I don't see him going below 168. So, and it's a great fight to 68.
Well, maybe Jermall will have to move up there eventually. That's where all the big fights are at, right, Ant? Like you were saying earlier. Caleb Plant, Benavidez, Canelo.
And it's to the point where
Jacobs.
If you get to the point where you're a prize fighter, you want to make money, you got to move, you got to catch weight. If you want to make the money in big fights, you got to do what you got to do.
I think, did I mention that fight to you? Did I say Jacobs versus Charlo?
Ooh.
I was talking to somebody.
Oh, I'll be down for that.
I would love that fight.
I'm here for that.
That's another guy.
He wasn't in the room?
Possibly.
Because Tiki was in the room, but Tiki was like, ooh, I don't know.
Hey, Danny Jacobs, that was another guy.
Oh, even Tiki was like, I want to see that fight? Okay. Yeah, when you got the wives talking, you got to make a fight, man.
Yeah, so.
That was, going back to our origin, that was the guy that we knew beat you in the amateur. So anytime, because obviously Shawn, I was friends with him towards the end of his amateur run.
Beat the bricks off, sure.
Yeah, well, that's all we had. There was nobody else. We didn't know anybody else. And so we were like, oh yeah, Danny Jacobs, he kicked the shit out of you. It's,
He said-
did you not lose to Danny Jacobs in the amateurs?
Us?
Yeah.
Shawn Porter's a good guy,
Bricks off
man.
you? Oh, okay.
We
I
beat the brakes off him.
Were you there, Carson?
No.
Okay.
You asked, though.
I don't know.
I saw a
It's
video of
funny
one of them,
because
I
it's
think.
funny because fast forwarding so far past those fights now is like
Yeah.
I love the dude like to the core, and
Yeah.
it's like I kind of feel weird talking about the fights now.
Another guy out there,
so
a good dude.
we don't even talk. We don't talk about the fights. We just always look at each other and laugh and just like, yeah, we've been through it, man. We've been through it. You know, we don't talk about no moments. Remember when I knocked you down? Remember this? Remember that?
For you, for your fights as amateurs, and Usyk is always the one that people go to.
Yep.
It is crazy the people you fought as an amateur where you're at now.
Everybody goes to Usyk because he's
A heavyweight.
now, which is crazy.
But
And you won, right?
Daniel Jacobs.
Yeah.
And you won that Usyk fight too.
yeah,
So my God.
Yeah.
He smoked him too, depending on who you ask.
Well,
Nah, man, I tell
I
that fight like
have
it
no
was.
clue
I
on
tell
that.
that fight like it was. It was amazing.